Ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs, every now and again you see a video that is so out of context, so incomprehensible, many of the replies are, "Is this AI generated?" Well, your man Viva went and found the original clip in context in all its glory, and you will see it was neither AI nor glory. Behold!
Now I would like to call Nasser Ahmed for her to testimony and say a few words.
Does this mic work?
Yeah, it works.
Hello. Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure I'm a little closer. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, hello. I am very grateful to have this opportunity to speak in front of everyone. And thank you to my senator for representing me and the people behind me for representing me. I can never be more grateful than I am right now. I'm not used to the attention and the fame, unwanted fame that I am receiving right now. My image is out there, but it's an image for a reason. It's an image that I will carry for the rest of my life. And I am proud. I am proud to say that I've survived ICE. I'm proud to say that I stood up for what is right. And many people are saying, including my family and friends, that I will go down in history. And I will carry this on my shoulders, and I will carry it even though I am fearful.
I'm going to pause it here, actually, because unless you actually know the context of what's going on, I didn't realize the audio was so delayed. I'm going to post the clip that is not so delayed. This is Nasra Ahmed, a 23-year-old Somali American who I say not claims to have been detained by ICE for 2 days. I believe everybody concedes and acknowledges was detained by ICE. The circumstances surrounding the detainment are at least disputed. And she's giving a press conference about the circumstances of her detainment. I listened to the full 9 minutes of her press conference. I don't understand even her version of events as to the circumstances leading to her detainment for 2 days. But the video that's going viral is her talking about what it means to be Somali.
So I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's a lot. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American, but it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice. You know, people don't really see, like, you know, it's you know, people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali and American. It's like that combination of banana and rice, but you're gonna get what I mean.
No, I listened to the entire press conference and I never got what she meant. It actually got even a little bit more confusing because at one point in the press conference, she's talking about how she's Somali and also black, and how, I mean, it was like multiple layers, according to her, of discrimination, where it's a foregone conclusion. You know, according to her, if you're black in America, you suffer from racism. If you're Somali, you suffer from a different form of discrimination than racism. I mean, I guess if you're gay, you suffer from some form of prejudice. If you're Jewish, you suffer from some form of anti-Semitism. Whatever element of your identity you have, you suffer from some form of discrimination as a result of it. You know, with the exception of apparently the only group of people who are the patriarchs and the oppressors, you know, and you can interrupt church services and demonize them. The only one out there that is at the lower echelons of this food pyramid of oppression. The press conference she goes on later to say, by the way, she had a Band-Aid on her head because she claims to have been concussed during her arrest. The circumstances of her arrest, apparently ICE was in the neighborhood and she knew that ICE was in her neighborhood. Her neighborhood is a predominantly Somali neighborhood. They were looking, I presume, for illegal aliens. They're not out there looking for American citizens because you can't deport American citizens. So presumably they're out there looking for illegal aliens. And I couldn't understand what role Nasra was playing in terms of either impeding, interfering, or how she got caught up in this bit of law enforcement. By her own testimony during that 9-minute press conference, She said they were looking at two men in particular. She asked the men to open the door for her or something. ICE came to get the two Somali men, and then somehow she got caught up in the crossfire, got detained for 2 days. During the press conference, she goes on to talk about how she was detained at the Whipple detention facility, which she referred to as having been a concentration camp for Native Americans. And now she's being paraded around as the poster child of alleged unlawful detainment by ICE because she's an American citizen. I'm not yet entirely certain if it's naturalized or born in America, natural born citizen. And she's been detained. And now the media will get their talking point that because ICE may have detained an American citizen for 2 days, that therefore ICE is targeting American citizens, acting like total authoritarians. I don't know if she was detained for another reason. In her press conference, after going into the part about being banana and rice Somali American, you'll understand what it means, still don't understand what it means. And I don't know if she's trying to say that, I don't know, culturally, cooking-wise, you use bananas for cooking and rice for cooking, as if rice is supposed to be the juxtaposition between North Africa and the West, as if rice itself doesn't come from Asia or have an origin in Asia. I didn't understand it for the life of me. I don't think anybody who watched it understood it. The question is whether or not she was legit concussed and therefore incapable of formulating coherent thoughts to be expressed. But the underlying story is what is important in all of this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a brief pause from this video for a word from our sponsor, Rumble Wallet. They can freeze your accounts, shut off your cards, lock you out of your own money overnight. They have done it before and they will do it again. That's why real financial freedom starts with ownership. Introducing Rumble Wallet, a non-custodial wallet built for people who refuse to give up control. With Rumble Wallet, you don't just buy digital currency like Bitcoin and Tether at your own risk. #disclaimer, you can own Tether Gold, real gold on the blockchain. Through Tether Gold, you get direct ownership of physical gold bars, each one fully allocated, verifiable by serial number, purity, and weight. This isn't paper gold. This isn't IOU gold. This is real gold without bank vaults, storage fees, or gatekeepers. You can buy, sell, or move it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even when traditional gold markets are closed. Tether Gold can be redeemed for physical gold. It's a thing of beauty. That is power. And when you support creators on Rumble, you can tip them directly using Rumble Wallet, peer-to-peer and outside the banking system. No permission, no middlemen, no cancel button. This wallet is yours forever. Head over to Rumble Wallet. The link is in the description. Rumble takeover is here and it's here to stay. Thank you very much. And now back to the video. They're running with it now because this is what they needed in order to claim that ICE is targeting U.S. citizens like that schnook on CNN where Scott Jennings took issue with him. I've got two different perspectives on this. I went from the Fox News perspective and the totally left-wing nonsense. Well, maybe Minnesota Star is not total, but maybe a little bit left. But this is what Fox News is reporting. ICE in Minnesota, U.S. citizen said she was unjustly detained, suffered concussion. The brief, in case you don't actually want to read a 4-minute article, 3 bullet points. 23-year-old St. Paul woman is Somali, says she was harassed, assaulted by ICE agents. She says they called her the N-word when they arrested her. I mean, maybe it's because I'm just naive and stupid. And, I would be shocked that anyone, especially in law enforcement, would use the N-word. It's, I know people like, Viva, you're a prude. It's not a big deal. Don't let people control language. The N-word is a singularly unique word with a historical context that you don't use. I would be flabbergasted if an ICE agent actually referred to her as the N-word. I'd be flabbergasted, but we'll see. Presumably there's body cam footage. She said she was detained for 2 days after asking 2 Somali men who ICE agents were tracking to keep a door open for her. Well, now I've got questions. Was she trying to aid and abet those 2 men from avoiding ICE arrest or detainment? ICE agents called her racial slurs and the force of her arrest caused her concussion. She has a large bandage over her right eye. The backstory: Nasra Ahmed held a Wednesday afternoon press conference along with her father, Muhammad Ahmed, state lawmaker Samakab Hussein, to talk about her experience. The incident happened 11:30, January 14. Cell phone video appears to show Nasra being detained by federal agents in what appears to be a parking lot of a complex. She says she was following 2 Somali men. When she asked them to hold a door open for her, she says ICE agents intervened, took her into custody, and she spent 2 days in a jail before being released. The incident caused her mental, emotional, no doubt. What they're saying, her father, Muhammad Ahmed, was shaken by what his daughter went through. He also said the Somali community in the Twin Cities is afraid to leave their homes, go to work, go to shopping, live their lives, etc. What Nasser has experienced is not supposed to happen to anybody, Mahmoud said. Racial profiling, DHS response to alleged assault. What they're saying. Spokesperson for the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, late Wednesday night, issued the following statement on Ahmed's arrest. The statement accuses Ahmed of assaulting federal agents. Not that I believe one side or the other, but there's plausibility at play here, even by her own story, which if you listen to it, it didn't make a lick of sense. Secretary Noem has been clear. Anyone, including U.S. citizens, who assault law enforcement will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Assaulting law enforcement is a felony and a federal crime. By what she said, she asked the two men that ICE was after to hold the door. She said they called her a racial slur, which, when I was listening to the press conference, I thought was going to lead into the conclusion of her having defended her integrity and assaulting the police officers. I don't know, hitting them. You don't call me that. And then she slaps them. What we know is that after the shooting of Renee Good, in as much as, unfortunate, tragic, I've come to the conclusion after having looked at and picked the brains of legal minds out there, Andrew Branca, Robert Barnes, even lefty leanings who say, don't do things like this and situations don't escalate, that it was a lawful shooting in the sense of potentially not necessary, but lawful under those circumstances because of the way it went down. When I did hear DHS's description of the events versus how the left was describing it and then actually seeing the video, the truth was the most accurate description was somewhere more in the center, but certainly more to the right than to the left. It wasn't just a woman who happened to be crossing traffic, dropping her kids off. This was an actual instigator, agitator, not to say she got what she deserved, but the descriptions on the far left were wildly inaccurate. The descriptions coming from DHS were verbose. Truth is somewhere in the middle. I wonder if she assaulted the police officers. Somali American, this is from the Minnesota Star Tribune, so you can get the other side of this. Detained for 2 days. We're going to go a little here. A U.S.-born Somali American woman said she was forcibly arrested and detained by immigration 2 days after the Trump administration's crackdown in Minnesota. Bandages still covering her head. They love the images. Ahmed said listen to this. With bandages covering the scrapes on her forehead, Nasra spoke about her arrest at a news conference. She said immigration agents stopped in her neighborhood and asked her for identification. Ahmed said they then used a racial slur and pushed and detained her, leaving her with aches and a concussion. Hey, you got to go with what you think is most likely. ICE agents who know that they are the most demonized entity in law enforcement in America, going to detain a young woman and use the N-word racial slur on her while they're trying to enforce immigration law in Minnesota. And then we can just go to the rest there. So the question is going to be whether or not she assaulted the officers, harshly or not, whether or not she was trying to assist in the 2 minutes they were lawfully or not lawfully going after, got involved, and got arrested. 2 days later, she's out, and now both sides are going to, I say both sides, the one side is going to parade around their victim like a trophy so they can get the talking points, clips, sound bites, and photographs. But you watch that press conference, it doesn't make a lick of sense. It's convoluted, and now they've got that one clip which is going to go viral, and you got to wonder what the heck she was even talking about in that comparison.